Hello everyone, welcome back to another Thrift Store Finds video. I missed doing yesterday's video. Amanda and I went out to a new series of thrift stores that we've never been to, an area that's way out of the way, about an hour and a half away, in an area we don't go to normally. Check that out. And then this morning, did the half price book sale, and then the best thing that I did was a random stop to a tiny Goodwill near our local DMV that we very rarely go to because usually it's a walk-in, walk-out. And I don't know what the heck happened, but they had so much stuff that, between yesterday and today, this is the single biggest media haul we have ever had. There are going to be movies going up on our stores for like months. There's so much here, and to start, there's so much to go through. I'm going to start with this big thing because this is just exciting. A giant tower of Warner Archive and Fox Archive DVDs, and almost all of them are sealed. And that's also going to be a theme too. There are many more piles of things this big, and most of those are sealed. To start with the Warner Archive stuff, we have Street Yard Blues with Jane Fonda and Donald Sutherland and Peter Boyle. Sealed. We have These Wilder Years, also sealed. Too Much Too Soon. Tiger Sharp with Edward G. Robinson. Never heard of that one, but I like Edward G. Robinson. That's kind of cool. Tell Me That You Love Me, Junie Moon with Liza Minnelli. This looks pretty cool. Billy D. Williams in The Take. So Billy D. Williams is on The Take. Interesting. Again, also sealed. This is a cool movie. I have this on Blu-ray from Twilight Times, which is now sadly gone. Before that, there was also, I think before the Twilight Times release, there was the Warner Archive DVD. This is a Hayley Mills movie, Take a Girl Like You. It's a really good movie. That one, this is a cool cover with Myrna Loy, the remastered edition from the Warner Archive, 13 Women. And it's a bunch of different, you'll see the different Warner Archive labels because it's from different eras of the Warner Archive. So 30 with Jack Webb, also sealed, and Terror on a Train. 3 Daring Daughters. These Glamour Girls. Today We Live with Joan Crawford. This Modern Age, one of the few that's actually opened, but This Modern Age. This is a good movie. I've seen that one before. This is a Warner Archive 3-pack. So Times Square Playboy, Don't Bet on Blondes, and The Woman from Monte Carlo. It's interesting. A 3-pack. They Met in Bombay. Thousands Cheer. Too Hot to Handle. So you get some Clark Gable in there as well. Lots of classic actors that are really, really cool. And ones that are very common to find in a lot of Warner Archive stuff. 3 Comrades. Then we move into some of the Fox Cinema Archive, which is not as prevalent as the Warner Archive, but there's still some really good stuff that's come out from them over the years. Tales of Manhattan. They Came to Blow Up America. I never even heard of this one. Tailspin. They Call Me Mr. Tibbs. And 3 Came Home with Claudette Colbert. So that's just getting started. Insane. All those, there were 4 of them out of that entire stack that were open. 3 of them that were open out of that entire stack. Crazy. Now we move on to the next stack of sealed DVDs. A lot of different cool stuff, some out-of-print things. I mean, just so much. It's crazy. Cat Ballou with Jane Fonda. There's a Girl in My Soup, Peter Sellers with Goldie Hawn. Bug, I had to look this one up to check what the heck this was. I never heard of that. That's the other thing too, is that I was at this little Goodwill just in the DVD section for at least half an hour because there were so many. There were a bunch of movies and things that I was familiar with, and just kind of grabbed them and put them in my my basket. But then there were a bunch of odd ones that I wasn't really sure. Was it worth picking up? How much is a sealed version worth really these days? And you never know, because sometimes it's really not worth your time, and other times the price is spiked. You never know. Sealed copy of The Brass Bottle with Barbara Eden, and this is the movie that was the premise that eventually became I Dream of Jeannie, one of my favorite TV shows, and this is a good movie itself. The Arrival and The Arrival 2, Artisan Films double pack. Time Bomb from the limited edition collection from MGM. This is cool, a completely sealed 2-disc Criterion DVD of The Thief of Baghdad. Yeah, that was $2 at the thrift store today. Like, what? Nuts. Gregory Peck in To Kill a Mockingbird. This is the 50th anniversary edition, a whole bunch of bonus features. Classic movie. Sybil Danning, They're Playing with Fire. Titanic, not that Titanic, from the Fox Studio Classics line, the Academy Award winner from 1953. In the Universal Western Collection, The Duel at Silver Creek. Special effects. This is very interesting artwork, as this the kind of colorized look they did for a lot of things. Image Entertainment at a certain time did these, a lot of older things. But we have Alice Faye in 365 Nights in Hollywood, the 1934 lost musical, Found at Last. Brand new sealed copy of that. Terror Train with Jamie Lee Curtis, back in when she was doing tons of horror movies in the post-Halloween years of that, Prom Night, all kinds of stuff. Firewalker with Chuck Norris. Sunshine State. And Thank God It's Friday. So a bunch of more sealed DVDs, a ton there, and I have another stack of DVDs to go. These ones are the ones that were not sealed, but were still worth grabbing. Some of them were the other day in like the bargain room or a different store this morning, kind of a mix of different things. But we have from the Kino Lorber Studio Classics, This World, Then the Fireworks. Three Secrets, this is an Olive Films release. This is cool. The Thin Man, it's the original snapper case version, and the spine is intact. A lot of times with these old snapper case releases, because that part is cardboard and the part of the spine is cardboard, that ends up getting worn over the years, but it's in still really, really good shape. Humphrey Bogart in Tokyo Joe. Another one of these Fox War Classics. I picked up a few of those a few weeks ago. We have To the Shores of Tripoli. Wrinkles, I don't know what this is. It's an animated film released by G-Kids, which usually does some pretty good Japanese anime releases. Never heard of this one, though. Stella Dallas of Barbara Stanwyck. There's a lot of classic actors. Another Criterion. This one, I've never heard of this one, but Thieves Highway. If you know what that one is, definitely let me know down below if it's a good one to check out. Another Fox War Classics, we have Tonight We Raid Calais. Blood Red. Chow Yun-Fat in Once a Thief. It's a John Woo picture, and I have not seen this one. John Woo's pretty cool, so it's a good movie. Shattered Angels, which is one of those anime saver packs, but a complete anime season. This was $2 today as well. Wishmaster 1 and 2 and Wishmaster 3. Put those together. Now the next pile of DVDs. This sealed box set that we found yesterday, it is the Questar Wonders of God's Creation. Big old box set, and we've sold a couple individual volumes of that before. I've never seen a complete set like this and sealed, so that's really good. Fun to find there. Another snapper case release. Always really cool to find those. This is Scooby-Doo, the original mysteries, and includes the first 5 episodes ever. Some classic Hanna-Barbera. Windwalker special edition, and let me definitely, this one in particular, I want to pull out and say, if you have seen this movie, I'll show you in the back here, and you know what it is, let me know if it's any good, because this is not, it's like Sterling Media, Chance Digital Stereo, it's all very low quality, low print run, kind of you've never heard of it stuff, and it's related to the Wilderness Family and just all this stuff that's really not, I wouldn't exactly say it's particularly great, but the praise for this, and I looked this up and it's all real, on the back here you have This movie was rated #1 anthropological film of all time, besting Dances with Wolves. What? By the American Anthropological Association, and there's all kinds of deserves an Oscar, breathtaking, authentic. Like there's so much on here. This the high praise for something that is like this little niche market budget DVD release. I'm gonna probably watch this before I put it on the store. This is one that's gonna go in the watch pile because really, wow, the praise on here is pretty crazy, and it goes on a bunch more film critic stuff, and it's just wow. Okay, let me know if that's any good because I'm definitely going to give that one a watch, and if it's amazing, I will probably come back on here and talk about it as well because it has me curious. Piqued my interest. Foghorn Leghorn and Friends from the Looney Tunes Superstars line. Sold a bunch of those before. 25th anniversary edition of DuckTales, Volume 1, the 3-disc set. The 2-disc version of the 50th anniversary edition of North by Northwest. Amazing movie, my favorite Cary Grant movie, my favorite Hitchcock movie. Really cool, and there's been a couple different. The 50th anniversary edition has a single disc version, this 2-disc version with a bunch more special features. It has a Blu-ray version, so that had a bunch of different releases. Mama's Family, seasons 1 and 2. A bunch of end of the era Columbo sets. We have after the original series, the few times that the Columbo character came back. We have the Mystery Movie Collection from 1989. I started giving those a watch the other night. And then again, 91 to 93. And then 94 to 2003. It's always crazy to think that there is a 2003 Columbo TV movie. 2003. Every time I think of Columbo, obviously I think of the original 70s series and really just those first 4 seasons. That's what my core of that's what I love with Columbo because those were amazing. And then the writing went downhill a little bit after that, but yeah, that's really cool. And then we have from the Carol Burnett Show, we have a collector's edition box set of Carol's favorites and then a sealed exclusive bonus features DVD to just kind of go along with that. Found that in the bargain bins. Season 1 of Alf. And one of the early release box sets that you really don't run across this version, this cover obviously, but this version of the Mary Tyler Moore Show, the complete first season, because not every season, I don't think every season was released in this form. It's the big, those older fold-outs. I see all you see all the time when I do my videos with Xena and Hercules and Angel and Buffy, the X-Files. Always love those. It folds out and it's a bigger set with all the discs inside because their seasons were released like this, and then one version of the slimmer cases and with the slim cases inside here, and then an even thinner one which is the entire season's the size of barely the size of the part of the spine, and then the complete series. So I don't run to the original line of DVDs very often for that. One 4K Blu-ray combo with the slipcover of The Greatest Showman with Hugh Jackman. The soundtrack to Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. It's actually a really good soundtrack for that movie. And I'm going to have to make a little bit of room because there are 3 more stacks of things to go through. Only 2 VHS finds. Kind of unusual considering how much media there is. I've been finding a lot of VHS recently, but really wasn't a whole lot when we were out. From the Walt Disney mini classics, Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2, and the Flintstones Kids with Captain Caveman. And that's about it for that. And this could have been even crazier because when we went out to that other chain of thrift stores yesterday, that they had a really weird pricing strategy for DVDs. There actually were a bunch of DVD box sets that I was looking at for the store. Anything that was for us, I picked up of that Mary Tyler Moore. That's about it. There wasn't a whole lot, but their DVDs were $2. Okay, that's actually pretty good for a lot of thrift stores these days. It's half of what a lot of them are charging. But then it was by disc. So if I picked up, say that one of those Columbo sets and it's 3 discs, that would be $6. If you picked up, a series of a TV show that had 5 discs, that would be $10. I've never seen that before in my life, where it's by the number of discs in a set. That has no meaning. There's no relevance to the value of something. Really, really bizarre. So if you had a 2-disc version of a movie, they would charge you double than if it's one disc. It was very bizarre. So there was a lot of seasons of TV shows that we just kind of left because the price jumped from $2 to like $10 or $12 just because of the number of discs in the pack. Very bizarre. Then I also found some Goosebumps today. This is really good. This is one of the Rita Bewares I grew up with, so I really enjoyed that. Just a handful from the half-price book sale this morning that I grabbed. Then another series, a couple of series of things that we found which are really good. This is Young Women of Faith. Lily, it's a series called Lily something, the Lily series, but looks like it is a religious, like preteen girls book series, but they're all there. And those types of things tend to be like really low print run because they don't have a very wide audience. So if you get a collection of those, like the Left Behind, the kids books, the kids ones, not the adult ones, that kind of stuff can do well if you have a big collection. A few more just kind of generic fiction titles, and some romance things, whatever, for Pengo. Nothing too crazy exciting, just the book sale. Then found this series of Catherine Applegate, which is K.A. Applegate, and Amanda grabbed these because she realized that she knows more about some of the book stuff than I do, and anything that is Catherine Applegate rather than K.A. Applegate, which is more common, especially a lot of Scholastic Kids stuff, tends to be a little bit older or a little bit more rare, a little more obscure, and worth a bit more if you have a stack. So I found that series, one of the Left Behind Kids books, as I mentioned, and a few more of those generic fiction type stuff. One set, we'd sold another set of, I think, 5 or 6 of these. I don't remember how many, but this Beverly Lewis, like Amish romance. What? Weirdest stuff. But if you can get a stack of it, it'll sell. And we live a stone's throw away from horse and buggies, so we do find that kind of stuff here more than most people would. It's worth grabbing. Once Upon a Dream. Some older Clifford. This one, Amanda wanted to grab this for herself, I think. The Badass Librarians of Timbuktu. I think she wanted to grab that and read that. The Girl Who Lived Twice, which is part of a second trilogy continuing after the original author died. I think Amanda explained that to me. I think that's what she said. Mercedes Lackey, The Silver Griffin. And this is a Stephen King biography. I was surprised that there was one that was that old. Because normally you think of biography, you think, yeah, at least like mostly through someone's life, very late stages, but it's weird there was one that old, but he was always popular, so. And again, a bunch of more kids fiction type things. The Warriors, never seen this one in particular. There's so many of these. And then we still have a few more things to go through. Two kind of oddball ones that this I grabbed. It was $1, so I'm like, I know this is, it's in really good shape. This is worth a lot more than that. From Dorney Park, which we were kind of not that far from. This is a mug, Fear the Five. So I guess like 5 different popular roller coasters from that. And some amusement park stuff, a lot of it is obviously just like garbage, things you get like a free cup to walk around and get refills in your drink. That kind of stuff usually isn't worth a lot, but some things are pretty cool and can be worth picking up, especially that cheap. And then this, still sealed completely in its bag. This is, I haven't seen the movie, I know it's super popular, but I think it's Demon Slayer, but it is a laptop backpack. And that was definitely worth grabbing, sealed, up hanging with a lot of the backpacks and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, unbelievable, especially the DVDs. The number that were sealed, just so much and so many classic movies and actors and some more obscure stuff and some weird things and just, you name it. This is by far the biggest single media haul we've ever had. This morning. It was just crazy. I found majority of this today. I was out like an hour and a half, 2 hours longer than I had anticipated because I just stumbled upon this. I'm like, there's a lot here, and there's a few things I gotta just kind of hang out and look up because I'm not sure. And that's one of the good things about a smartphone. I don't really like smartphones; they're a pain in the butt, but that's one good thing is that you can do that if you're not certain about some things, and you really have to rely on knowledge more than anything, but you can take more of a chance and be more knowledgeable if using just the internet. And so it takes a little bit of the risk out with that kind of stuff. So unbelievable just crazy amount of stuff. I have a lot to go through.